we've thought about how this would play against each other, right? Women sort of stepping up to help with the war effort, but knowing that at the same time, women across the country, Americans across the country, are seeing a crisis abroad, trying to think about what their role was in response to that. And it depended on kind of where your resources were, what you were able to do. One of the people that we've, of course, seen have a very big impact at the governmental level is Edith Rogers, who became the first woman elected to Congress from Massachusetts after her husband died in 1925. And she was very active in veterans issues and all different things, but was one of the first members of Congress to really pay attention and vocally call out Nazi racial policies, and ultimately co-sponsored legislation, a bill with Senator Robert Wagner of New York that would have let additional children into the country who were German children, Jewish children who were refugees seeking safety outside their own country. And this is by 1939, after there's been widespread violence. So at that governmental level, she had an opportunity to really try and change the opportunity that our country was providing for people to come in. We had very restrictive immigration quotas in place, but these children would have come in outside those quotas. So she took action. Now, when you think about anti-immigration sentiment in the country, you can imagine where this bill goes. If you're a member of incoming Congress, would you vote yes or no on a bill to open the doors of the United States to a larger number of European refugees? 87% say no in a Roper survey in January 1939. They introduced the bill in February 1939, and the bill doesn't come out of committee. So she went as far as she could. She also does many amazing things in her time, 35 years in Congress. But I think, you know, it's for us really moving to think that she took advantage of the position she had. We have another amazing story, though, that just shows that women in communities all across this country had opportunities to know what was happening to Jews and other persecuted civilians under the Nazis. And one of those stories that we wanted to share tonight was about a girl in Reading, Pennsylvania. Talk about an outlier, right? She's a young person who is basically living her life, going to school, and she becomes pen pals with a friend that she makes in Vienna, Austria. And that friend's name is Marianne Winter. And they get to be kind of, you know, randomly connected through this pen pal association, Campfire Girls. And they start writing to each other and get to know each other. You see them here in their, in this time frame, like when they're about 16. And after Germany annexes Austria, things get very bad for Marianne Winter and her family. They put into place all the laws that had been in place for Germany for 8 years. And she starts to realize that she and her family, that they really have to leave. So does Jane Bomberger know about what's happening to Jews in Europe? She knows through the press, she knows through her friend. Mm-hmm. And so you see in this letter that Marianne actually writes to her friend and asks for help. Facts are that we have to immigrate under every circumstance. And of course, I know that you and your family have not the money to claim for us. Now I ask you, my dear, if it would be possible for you to get a connection with any rich man who would be able to give us an affidavit. So you had to get support from a sponsor in the United States to get an American visa. I know that will be very difficult, but as I have heard here, in USA, there are many people who want to help us. So, very poignant letter, but if you can see at the very top of that document on the right, Joseph Bomberger is the one to put forward an affidavit of support for this family. Who's the rich man she knows? Her father. So Jane Bomberger asks her dad. They support the family in saying that they will not become a public charge. They support the application of their visa, and actually the whole family comes over. So you see that big list of names in the middle. Max, Anna, Stefan, Marianne. They meet them at the boat. They take them into their home in Reading, Pennsylvania. And they also get to be good friends over time, as you see in the photo here. So when we were trying to think about how we could highlight the range of responses from women about persecution abroad in the midst of a crisis at home, these are two that we really thought stand out at so many different levels.